All right. Well, Damon Jackson, of course, certainly we want to talk about an incredible fight that you had, but it seems like a weird place to start. I guess first would just be, how are you doing right now, man? I mean, clearly an emotional week. How are you holding up right now?
I'm doing good, man. Doing a lot better. It's just it was kind of rough that week because I was like weight cut plus all the just being at the PI, being there around all the other fighters, not really getting to like let loose any emotion, not really talk to anyone about it, just because I wanted to keep it on the down low just until the fight was over, just because I didn't want to be thinking about that during prep because cutting weight's already hard enough, so it's like going through weight cuts and going through all that, it would be way rougher if I was, any kind of emotion. So
How challenging was that? Because as you said, like I didn't know anything about it, man, and to know that you were dealing with that all week. I guess I get what you're saying, right? Like you don't want to deal with it around all those people. At the same time, like trying to keep that inside, I guess, has got to be pretty difficult to do as well.
yeah, because it's definitely like people. Everybody's always either says like "What's up?" or "How you doing, man?" or whatever. So it's kind of like no one wants to put you don't want to put your emotions out there like that, around a bunch of guys, let alone like MMA fighters. So it's kind of like one of those things where you're kind of in a weird spot as a fighter because you got to be a hard ass all the time. But for me, like I did it because mentally I just didn't really want to think about the grieving part of it. It's just like anything you go through, there's like stages of grieving that you kind of go through. And I just kind of keep a lot of things to myself anyways. And it's just it's not anybody else's business. I had to tell the UFC because of all the issues with getting my mom there for a ticket and getting all that stuff squared away, because we still had to buy our own tickets. I know everybody hits me up about free tickets all the time, and I'm like, do you understand that the tickets to the Apex they start at $1,700? So I'm like, I'm not gonna buy you a ticket unless you're blood. So it's like, my wife and my mom were there, and I had a lot of friends there. So it was nice to have some people there. But I didn't speak to any of them during fight week. I didn't, once I found out the news, I kind of helped settle things out a little bit, for a few days. And then after that, once it was like on Tuesday, I kind of stopped doing everything. I was like, all right, from here on out, if you have any questions, text me first. Don't call me. Don't leave me a voicemail. Just let me focus on this, and then I'll be, all hands on deck, next week. So it was really just, it was much needed time to, get in there and, once I had the fight, there was no chance of me turning it down, and I just wanted to get out there and do what I normally do because it brings so many people together. Because it's like with every family, like you either have divorces or you have deaths or you have separations of some sort in some way with friendships or whatever it is. So it seems like whenever I have a fight, it kind of brings everyone together. And people that I have one friend that that lives in California and one that lived in Hawaii for the longest time. And like every time that I have a fight, those two guys come to my fights every single time. So it's like getting to see those guys every time is because it's a great thing around fighting is it brings people together in some way. And it it's just it's a really unique thing that a lot of people don't have what I have. So it's I get to use it for a lot of good. There's a lot of good that comes out of it for sure.
Yeah, Damon, I know this wasn't the greatest of circumstances, but what you said is true. I tell people, for somebody that doesn't live in Las Vegas, honestly, you have the biggest crew at the Apex every single time of
Every
any fighter.
time.
I think it's
Yeah.
insane.
Every time, man. I try to like so I don't really get on social media a whole lot. I don't really share a whole lot on there, but I like if they were to come to Dallas, I swear I would sell at least two full rows of people. I could think of at least 10,000 people that I know like on a personal level know them that they would 100% be there. So I'm just like I'm begging for them like and just I'm on this little bit of a win streak right now. I'm pushing hard, finishing guys that they're calling prospects and whatever, and I'm just wondering like why aren't you calling me prospect? Why aren't you putting me in that category? I've been doing this since 2009. And it's like maybe I don't have the most athletic build and I'm not out there, talking smack, and I don't have a shitload of tattoos, and I'm pretty clean cut as far as like outside fighting. But it's like why am I not a prospect by now? Like why am I not on these main cards?
Well, let's talk about we talked about the stuff that you'll have to continue dealing with, of course. But yeah, let's talk about the good things now. This performance,
Yeah,
look, going into it, man, I'm going to be honest. I was torn because you know what a big fan I am of yours. But Pat Sabatini, I saw a lot of his career coming up through
hmm,
CFFC.
yeah,
Great dude, phenomenal
yep,
fighter as
yep.
well. And I was torn on this, but I thought, if nothing else, I know we're going to get one hell of a fight because you two guys are talented. And then you come in and absolutely steamrolling, man. I mean, give me your thoughts on having a performance that great. And I mean, did you ever envision like, yeah, I bet I can get this done about a minute and a half or so?
No, I just kind of like I was thinking, like with everything going on with my brother and then with my family, because like I very briefly talked to my dad, briefly talked to my mom, and I just knew they had so much emotion going on. And I know that my dad, for the longest time, he couldn't even handle coming to my fights. He used to throw up before, days before my fight, he would be throwing up and stuff. So I knew that neither one of them could handle it, and I knew that I had to go out there and make it a clean fight, and I wanted to get after him. And I never would have imagined that it would have been a front kick to ground and pound like that, But in my head, I had it to where there was no chance that he was beat me, and there was no chance that it was going to get out of the first round. Either I was taking him down or he was going to shoot in on me, and I was going to get a sub. I'm not a knockout artist. I don't claim to be. I did change my name, but it's like. Like this was me just preset in my head. I was like, dude, I can't do this to my parents. I've got to make sure that I don't take damage. I got to go out there and, get on this kid and, right from the start, because I knew how talented he is. He's one of the toughest kids coming up through there. And, but it's like, it like goes back, like I've been doing this for a long time. I've finished some great fighters, and like, look at my finish rate and like, look at everyone else's. It's like, look at my record. Like it's not a bullshit record. It's not, like people can say whatever they want. It just like it blows my mind because it's like I'm 22-4. I think I have 20 finishes. 22-4, and I have 20 finishes. And it's just I don't know. I just got to keep winning, but like at the same time, I definitely want something for it. But I knew that I had to finish that fight. I knew that I couldn't take damage, and I knew that I wanted to win so bad that it would have been really hard to beat me that day. And, I was ready to go physically and mentally before the fight. And then when all that happened, I just kept that same thing. And, it just carried me through the fight, man, for sure.
I kind of like Damon Jackson with a chip on his shoulder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just where's my
Yeah.
respect at? I like that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, maybe kind of trivial given everything that's going on, but you talked about the name change to Action
Mm-hmm.
Jackson. What spurred that?
So my brother, that was his football nickname.
Wow.
So yeah, no, that was like it was one of those things where like as a kid, I'm in the bleachers playing with my friends, or we're playing our own little game of football on the side of the field while my brother and his friends are out there playing, real football. And they would always be like, Bradley Action Jackson on the tackle, or Action Jackson on the tackle, or whatever it is, because he was a stud, on defense too. So it was just hearing that my whole childhood, I kind of, whenever I first started fighting, I was like, oh, that's too cheesy. Like people will think that like someone else has that name. And I don't think anyone does. Honestly, I haven't really heard anyone. So, I was kind of thinking that was, something that maybe it might be a possibility. But then it never really crossed my mind. Once my buddy started calling me the Leech, it never really crossed my mind. And, so it was nice to, had the name change, and then to have a very action packed, fast paced fight like that's completely not normal for my style and my past fights. So it was nice, man. It just kind of comes around, man.
That's pretty incredible, man. That's a great story. All right, so you got the bonus. Does that go straight to the girls? Do you get to see any of that, or do you just hand that over to the girls and say you're welcome?
Man, I was actually, it's funny. I was actually back at work today. So we, had the funeral and everything yesterday. And then I was back at work today. And, it just never even crosses my mind. Like I get a bonus, and it's like, that's like a couple of months of stress-free bills paid and like things like that. So for me, it always comes back to my girls, because they definitely get every penny that I make. And that I'm okay with that, as long as they're producing and as long as they're happy and they're like, they're healthy and everything. It's like it all comes back full circle because like I still get to go do what I love to do and compete. And my payoff is that I still get to have my big family, and I still get to have all these great things that that I've been provided. It's just like it's cool to like work hard for something and it actually pay off. And like the struggle of me like when I got released and then I had to work my way back up. And it's just nice to get to this point where I'm actually getting these big fights and these these put these positions where if I show up, I'm going to be a hero, and it pays off for me with my family because I'm spending time away from them, and it's paying off, and it has to, it has to for me. It has to for me to like continue doing what I'm doing, and for me to love what I'm doing. It has to pay off because I would never skip out on anything with my girls. So it's nice to have it paying off.
That's amazing, man. Yeah, I mean, there's so many people that could be in that position that you were, and they just give up, right? They just say, "Well, I had my chance. It didn't work out. Guess this
Yeah,
ain't for me. Now I got to do something else." And you kept chasing the dream, and you're
yeah,
crushing now. 4 in a row. I mean, three in like a 6 month span. I mean,
yeah.
things are flowing right now. So what's the plan, Dave? I mean, do you, I mean, do you need some time off? I mean, you're already working, but I mean, do you need some
No,
time off?
man,
Stay away, or is it right back?
I don't want time off. It's like that's why I chose to take the fight because it's like if I would have had a full week of just sitting around crying or like sitting around being sad, that would have been like the longest week ever, and it would have been super crappy, and there wouldn't have been anything really productive with it because no matter what, that hurt's going to be there, and that emotion's going to be there for for the rest of my life. It'll be somewhat there, and it's like for me to sit around for a full week and just waste this opportunity to fight and to show everybody that you just got to keep moving forward when you go through something like this. It's like I didn't realize how many people that like I was not doing this to like have people DMing me. I've had hundreds and hundreds of emails or messages on Twitter and Instagram just thanking me and saying how awesome it was and all these things and like how people's brothers and fathers and family had passed away, and then they just kind of like were in a down spot. And then after seeing my fight, they were like amped up. And I never even thought that way. I just thought that like, there's no way that I can't take this fight. There's no way that I can't, go out there and just smash. And so like whenever I had all these people messaging me, I never even crossed my mind. But it's really cool to see the effect it had on people. And I think that definitely if you're struggling like that and you're going through a loss like that, the best thing to do is just to keep moving forward and like keep your eyes up on what's important in your life and what's important, at that time. And, I just have so much going on with my family. And then to go through something like that, I wouldn't want to let them down. So I knew that I had to go out there and get that finish. And, it was just perfect how it played out.
Man, well said, Damon. Hey, listen, I'm a fan, and I think you're a great example to people. And as you said, in a tragic situation, you continue to be a great example. And as you said, you sometimes you inspire people that you don't even know. You're taking care
Yeah.
of your family and doing what you do for yourself, but you're inspiring others along the way, man. That's a great thing.
Like,
Hopefully you can soak that in and enjoy that because I know you worked your ass off to be here.
yeah, no, I mean, I definitely did when I was going through. Like, I was like looking at all these messages, and I'm like, man, should I message all these people back? And I'm like, you know what? I'm 100%. I'm gonna message all these people back. So this for the past like 3 or 4 days, I've been like on my phone nonstop, making sure that I message every single person that sent me something because it like it helped me even to see that like that I did this and it helped out all these people like to think that me messaging them back like they were saying like thank you for liking my tweet or thank you for responding to my message or whatever and so to have any kind of connection like that is huge and I just I love all the support that I've got from it. It's just I never expected it because I was never one to open up and tell everyone about it, but it just it is what it is, and it just worked out great. And something to it. I don't know what it is, but something to it. Just what goes around comes around, and hard work pays off. That's it.
Simple, but it's true. Powerful stuff. Well, Damon, congrats, man. Like you said, I'm a fan, so I'm happy to see you doing good. Sorry you had to deal with what you're dealing with, of course. I know you'll get through it with you and your family. And hey, from the fight game, we'll just look forward to seeing you booked again because you're Action Jackson, man. You come and bring it every time. We're looking forward to it, man.
All right, man. Well, I know I appreciate the support. Always is definitely. I'm ready to get back in there. I'm already talking about December, so hopefully something comes out.
Of course you are. Of course you are. Awesome, brother. Take care of the family. We'll see you soon, man.
All right, man. Later.